Hey guys, Dr. Dex here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about this Metabo HPT 10-inch compound sliding miter saw that's completely cordless or corded. You decide what you want to do with it, but I run mine cordless 95% of the time unless I'm completely out of battery. So it's basically a sliding saw. It runs on two rails that are on ball bearings, so it can go back and forth like this. All right, so there's your standard straight cut. It also will pivot 60 degrees to the right and 50 degrees, about 52 degrees to the left. So that's pretty cool. You get a full range of motion on this saw. I can cut just about everything I need to with this saw versus a 12-inch miter saw. So I really do like the fact of that. We usually run a 2 chop saw setup on our job site. So we have a 12-inch saw on the right and this 10-inch saw on the left. But when I need to pull something out to make some simple cuts or something like that, I always grab this saw first because it's just lighter and it's easier to carry and it's a little more compact than the 12-inch. So some more features about this saw. I like the forward controls. So everything, you can unlock it and you can pivot the saw. It can go up to a 31 or 33.9. If you pull this out, it can go all the way to 45. Positive stop. So there's your 45-degree angle right there. If you got to do a compound miter, sometimes you got to pull this stuff out of the way. It can positive lock on 15, 22.5, 31.6, and all the way to 45 if you need it to, both ways. This you might have to remove. Now you can get your full 45-degree compound miter if you need to. Boom, just like that. All right. So you can unlock this. Now this will go both ways if you have this pin pulled. So if you want to do a positive lock on 0, boom, there's your 0. Lock that back down. She's good to go. So now, a couple other cool features of the saw. If you want to get through your index without positive locking every time, like this, and this, and this, and that, and that, just hold this button down, and you got full range of motion without drop locking on anything. But I use 22.5 a lot, so that is kind of nice to have that positive stop right there. Now, it's a little loose, so again, lock it down. Now she's tight, okay? A couple other cool features. On the top of the saw, you're going to see a couple buttons here. One's for a light and one's for laser. So not only is this saw cordless, it has LED lighting, which that kind of makes us a little bit spoiled being an outside carpenter. We may not use that much until it gets dark in the wintertime. Or the laser. Usually I don't use lasers too much because they're hard to see. And but on the inside, when you're inside, you can see them a lot better. So I don't even know if this one, there it is. Okay. You can kind of see it. You're going to have to drop it down. We'll get a different angle for you so you guys can see the laser. Maybe we can see it on the... There you go. Now you can see the laser line. What's cool is they also have... If you don't like the way the laser's set up for your cut, you can adjust it right and left with these dial indicators right on the front of the saw. So one thing I liked about what Metabo was thinking about was forward control thinking. So most of your commands on your saw can be controlled right here. You're not reaching to the back of the saw to figure out, okay, I got to loosen this, to turn this, and do that. Everything's kind of controlled from here. All right. What else? Okay, so there's a positive locking mechanism for the head of the saw so it can keep it down when you're in transport. There's also a depth gauge. So if you need to make repetitive depth cuts in something, you can pull this down, adjust this dial right here, and then take this down and it'll lock it at a certain height. So you can make repetitive cuts at the same depth. And unless you're really reefing on the saw, yeah, you can go deeper if you really want to, but that's why sometimes you gotta have a little bit of finesse when you're building it with these type of saws. So we'll get that out of the way. There's a couple other features. It's totally stand compatible with many different brands. Has an onboard wrench for changing blades, which is kind of nice. That stays right here. Okay. And then there's also a clamp mechanism that comes with a saw that you can drop into these holes, lock it down with these wing nuts, and then you can block out for repetitive cuts that way as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple cuts with the saw. Safety, never put your fingers or your hands in this zone right here. This one happens to be green. Other brands have different colors, but that's your danger zone. So never put your fingers that close to the blade. Kind of common sense, but for those that are new and you know, wouldn't know better, it's always safer keep your hands a few inches away from that zone, okay? All right, I'm just gonna make a simple straight cut. All right, so there's your front cut. Let's say you need to make, there's a 22.5, you got a 45 corner. Piece of cake. Let's say you got a compound miter, you got to go 22.5 this way. Ah, see, I'm so used to going to the back of the saw to reach for it, I actually did it. But on this saw, boom, it's forward controls, so you don't have to do that. All right, so you can do, I'm going to go 22.5, which is right there. I'm going to go 22.5 this way. So now we're into our compound miters, all right? So this saw is totally capable of that, making all your compound miters. Everything fits beautifully. Look at that. Metabo. All right. So for us, this saw, it's a good working saw. We carry a 12-inch saw and a 10-inch saw on our job sites. This will make almost the same amount of cuts as a 12-inch, but not quite. Some of the deeper cuts or the bigger timber, you're still going to have to use your 12-inch. But this 10-inch saw is really versatile, works really good, and we use it every day for framing and for PVC cutting. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comment below. Ask away. We're always trying to field as many questions as we can. If you like what you saw, please click the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when we're putting out new content, also click the bell icon so we can get back to you every time we release new content. Thank you very much and have a great day.